Hello, I'm Tiffany. I'm one of the conservation assistants for Essex Wildlife Trust, and today I'm going to talk to you about hedgehogs because, let's be honest, who doesn't love a hedgehog? We are currently standing in my garden. I'll just take you for a little tour around. So I live in a terraced house, and as you can see I have fencing down both, there's the cat, down both sides of the garden. I never thought I would be able to actually get hedgehogs in my garden as a result of this fencing down either side. That was until I found some very interesting looking poop. And that is where my poop guide came in handy. So it looked very much like hedgehog poop. So I decided to set up my wildlife camera to investigate. So why are hedgehogs important? Hedgehog numbers are declining in Britain due to a number of reasons, but there are lots of things that we can do in our garden to help hedgehogs along the way. One of the most important things that we can do is to provide holes and access points in our fences and barriers so that we can link our gardens up for hedgehogs. Hedgehogs will go from garden to garden each night in search of food, mates, as well as nesting and hibernation spots. And they can roam on average around 2 kilometres every night. To help hedgehogs in my garden, I have dug a burrow under one of the fence panels. Now these burrows only need to be about 13 centimetres by 13 centimetres wide, and that will be enough for the hedgehog to crawl under. There is also a nice little gap here underneath the patio that the hedgehog likes to crawl through, so that space there is large enough as well for the hedgehog to crawl under. I've also created this large open compost heap in my garden. This contains lots of food waste, grass cuttings and plant and shrub cuttings as well. And compost heaps are great for insects as well as lots of worms, which the hedgehogs like to eat. They're also brilliant for frogs, toads, slow worms and grass snakes. Compost heaps are also brilliant hibernation spots and nesting sites for hedgehogs. Okay, so now we're going to set up the wildlife camera this evening to see what we can find on the camera. And I'm also going to put out hedgehog food, so I use Spike's hedgehog food, but you can also use meat-based wet cat or dog food. And I'm also going to put out some water, so I use water instead of milk because hedgehogs are lactose intolerant. So I'm going to put that out and put it in a nice sheltered spot in your garden around about sunset, and then see what happens. Okay, so I've plugged in the trail camera. Let's see what footage we have from last night. So I can see the camera was activated quite a few times last night. The first time it was activated was at 20 to 9, and the last time it was activated was at 20 past 9. So we put the food out just before 8 o'clock, so it wasn't long after that the hedgehog actually appeared. And there the hedgehog is. So this one looks like the usual hedgehog that visits our garden. It's got quite a distinctive mark on its back, so we've called him or her Patch. It's quite difficult to tell the sex of a hedgehog unless you look underneath them. But as you can see, this hedgehog is gobbling up that food we've put out for it, and also it likes to drink the water as well. Hedgehogs hibernate between November and March, so when they come out of hibernation in March time, as you can imagine, they're extremely hungry and thirsty. So March time is a great time to put out this supplementary food and water for the hedgehogs. They will really thank you for this. Come April time, the female hedgehogs will start looking for nesting sites, and this is when it's brilliant to put out hedgehog homes unless there's other natural materials available. I'm hoping that I get a hedgehog nesting in my compost heap, and this hedgehog does seem to be, let me just do the next video, this hedgehog does seem to be checking out the compost heap, so it may actually decide to nest in there, or even maybe later in the year hibernate in there. Come May time is the mating season for hedgehogs. Female hedgehogs give birth after around 4 weeks, and the litter of hoglets that they give birth to is usually between 4 and 6 hoglets. They give birth in June and July time, and then the mothers will teach the hoglets how to forage. Then come October, they will start building nests ready for hibernation again in November. So there are lots of other things you can do to make your garden more wildlife friendly and to encourage visitors such as the hedgehog to visit your garden. So you can create log piles in your garden. Log piles are important shelter for small mammals and also for insects, and these insects in turn then provide food for the hedgehogs. Log piles can also provide important nesting and hibernation sites for hedgehogs. You can also create a pile of leaves in the corner of your garden. These have lots of benefit for wildlife and are an important food source as well as nesting spot. Also, leaving areas of your garden overgrown. Overgrown areas of gardens provide important ecosystems for insects to live in. Ponds as well, one of the best features that you can actually add to your garden. They are an oasis for wildlife. Hedgehogs are great swimmers, but just ensure that there is a gentle sloping edge on your pond or a means for the hedgehog to get out of the pond. I hope you've enjoyed learning all about hedgehogs today and enjoyed seeing the footage of the hedgehog that visits my garden. Please do send in photos and sightings of hedgehogs that visit your garden. We'd love to hear all about them. But for now, thank you everyone for watching. Stay safe and stay wild.